Put a finger down if you started on a project, procrastinated really hard, and when it was time for that project to be worn, it wasn't finished. Put a finger down if you went back and revised that project and wore it again 3 years later. This is really hard. Put a finger down if you entered that into a craftsmanship contest. Put a finger down if it was Aerith's red dress from Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I made this dress 3 years ago, but it didn't exactly turn out the way I wanted it to. As I said before, I procrastinated and last minute did not have time to finish it perfectly. So this time I revised it, revamped it, and I entered it into a craftsmanship contest. So how did I turn this look into this look? I'm going to show you my original process videos mixed with the new process videos. So it may be a bit crazy, but I try to keep it as streamlined as possible. I bought this bustier secondhand to use as a base, since Aerith's dress is originally low cut in the back as well as the little plunge in the front. I just didn't feel comfortable at the time to draft my own corset pattern with it being that low cut look and then giving me the support and coverage that I needed. So I draped a muslin on top of the bustier and drew my design lines with chalk and put in a dart at the top of the bust. I went with a princess seam design so I could have the seam match up with the slit in the skirt. After making a pattern and sewing it up in the red poly crepe, I made a facing to finish the top edge of the bodice. Sewing an understitch helps it lay beautifully after pressing. Then I hand tacked the bodice to the bustier. I prepared the invisible zipper by pressing the teeth open, then sewed it into the center back seam. Then I started the dyeing saga. I literally died. I had to dye my new fabric red because I could only find the same polyester crepe in a very light pink. I did dye some of my red fabric originally to that burgundy color so it has like a slight gradient going down the skirt, but I wanted a few more ruffles to achieve the flared shape at the bottom. This is day 3 of dyeing. I did my red first, which was very, very dull orange terracotta. And I went back with the plum to make it more burgundy, which it worked. But with the pink fabric, it just went straight to purple. This wasn't in the bath very long, so it was a bit darker than this. So, just went ahead and dyed what I dyed red first, burgundy, that looks good. This is what was purple first, and then I put it back in the red bath. So it's a little bit better, but it's still not as vibrant as this one. It's gonna get another burgundy bath, but I've added more red to the dye, so we'll see how that works. So far it's been burgundy bath for 30 minutes, then the red bath twice for 30 minutes, so a whole hour together. Red bath for 30 minutes 2 times, and then the burgundy bath for 30 minutes. So I'm going to do another burgundy bath for all of these. The one in there now was dyed red twice. Instead of doing the plum bath twice, I just went for a full hour, right below boiling temperature. So let's see how this one looks, because, hold on, I need a drink. It looks like a beautiful deep wine burgundy, but when I rinse it, it's going to obviously be lighter, a little more faded looking. Here's the other more purpley color to compare to. So let's see how this one did. So this is my dryer. It looks like it's come straight out of a Silent Hill game. I've just been spraying water and wiping up all this extra dye so I don't accidentally turn my entire laundry red, but just want to show you guys, this is what happens when you dye things and put them in the dryer without rinsing them. You know, I try to get the color to really stick in there, but it just keeps fading to a lighter color when it dries. So, and these poor towels, I'm gonna see if I can get them clean. They should, because they weren't in the dyeing process. They were just in the dryer, and then wiping up the dye. Just gotta rinse everything pretty good and wipe it up. I cut out a donut shape in the muslin and draped it on the dress form to see if I liked it as the ruffles. I like the way it looks, so I added the lining that the ruffles will be attached to. Got my iced coffee, let's make some ruffles. I cut out as many donut shapes as I could with the fabric I had, in both the red and the burgundy dyed fabrics. I sewed the ruffles together with a zigzag stitch, did a rolled hem along the edge, and pinned it to the skirt lining. I did this kind of French seam where I sewed the ruffle with a 1/4 inch seam allowance to the lining, then folded the ruffle up and sewed it again a 1/4 inch in so it encases the raw edge and adds bounce to the ruffles. I bought this red lace that I also dyed burgundy, cut out applique pieces, and pinned it to the bodice until I reached a motif that I liked. Then I did the same to the scroll pieces along the waist and hips. I hand tacked everything down, but this year decided to hand embroider over the scroll pieces to make them look cleaner. This took about 15 hours total, but the end result was totally worth it. What do you think? Moving on to the bow, I made a long strip of fabric with thick interfacing and lined it. I used a wire to go along the top of the bow to keep a sturdy shape. I also added wire along the top side of the tails so they wouldn't hang pathetically. I secured everything together with needle and thread, sometimes needing pliers to help me get through all those thick layers, then added a strip of fabric around the center of everything to complete the bow. Okay, that turned out so stinking cute. Love it! For the wig, I crimped 3 long ponytail wefts and made more wefts by chopping this Arda wig. I'm not the most confident on wig styling yet, so I didn't record most of my process. I tried my hand at making a helmet wig with brown felt instead of batting, and having to paint it. I used a threaded pipe connector piece to make the ponytail base and the detachable ponytail. I made the wefts with Elmer's glue at the hairline, then hot glued it to the helmet base. I smooth the weft and spray it with got-to-be glued hairspray and trim the ends, then secure it with tacky glue and hot glue it right at the ponytail base. I repeated this until the whole head was covered, styled the bangs and ponytail, then decorated it with the ribbons and flowers. Here is a reminder of how it looked the first time I wore it, and this is how the new version looks. I entered this dress into the MomoCon craftsmanship contest. I didn't win anything, it was my second contest ever, but I'm still learning the best way to present my craftsmanship and to work on my craftsmanship. But I just realized that it doesn't matter if you win or lose. The process is just so fun, and you get to talk to and meet so many cool cosplayers who are just so talented, and you get to see other people's, get to learn about their process and their techniques that they've learned and used in their projects. So that's always something that I've looked forward to doing in the contests. Thank you guys so much for following along. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned some things. Please let me know what you think. Bye!